traveling press secretary, of course, to the Obama campaign, and MSNBC analyst Michael Steele, the former chair of the Republican National Committee. Welcome both. Michael, I saw you earlier today. Jen, I have not seen you since the campaign.
I know. Well, it's
so great to see you.
Survived,
You've been taking a little vacation,
yes, a little bit of rest, a little bit of reading and cleaning, all those good things.
Well, now that you're reinvigorated and back, so here we go. The Chuck Hagel controversy. Here we have another not yet nominee who is being opposed by a coalition of groups, mostly on the right and coming from AIPAC and other pro-Israel groups who are, going through his record and taking all sorts of issues with his position on Iran, his position on Israel. There's also the criticism, of course, from initially the Human Rights Campaign because of what he had said about gay rights back in the day, 14 years ago. He apologized. They said, that's fine, that's good. He's shown growth. What happens now with Chuck Hagel? Can the president afford to retreat on another person who's been a trial balloon and get pushed around this way?
Well, look, I think this one is a good example, as was the Susan Rice case, of what has happened in Washington with nominations and why they stay so under lock and key for so long. Because as soon as a name or a trial balloon goes out there, they become an immediate target. In this case, the only person who knows what he's going to do is President Obama. I know from working for him for so many years that he does some of his best thinking in Hawaii. He's there till Saturday. I'm betting he's making some final decisions on cabinet posts. And the truth is, if he thinks that Chuck Hagel is the best person to serve the country, is the best person to serve in this role, who he can go to for advice, I think he'll nominate him. And he'll have to, of course, have a tough confirmation hearing, but we'll see. Time will tell. We'll see what kind of thinking he's doing in Hawaii.
Well, the White House has had plenty of opportunities to push back, send signals to key correspondents and anchors and say, don't move too quickly on Hagel, just inject a little note of caution. That's not what we heard earlier today on Morning Joe. You were here, Michael Steele, from David Axelrod. He said, that the president, thinks very highly of Chuck Hagel. He could have doused a little cold water.
As you noted, he leaned rather forward on that issue. And I think at the end of the day, given what happened with Susan Rice, the president, I believe, will nominate Chuck Hagel. I think the president will not back down this time. I think he's going to draw a bright line on the defense secretary position. I think that he learned an important lesson, to your point, Jen, about what's happened in Washington and how the atmosphere has become so poisonous, and he won't contribute to it by having a nominee sacrificed on the altar of, someone's special interest. This goes back, as I noted this morning with you on Morning Joe, all the way back to the Bork nomination, which really began this poisonous approach to dealing with the president's choice for whatever cabinet position, regardless of the president. And I think we need to reach a place where the president can have the benefit of his nomination and live or die in his administration by the choice he's made.
As long as the person is qualified
competent,
and has no other disqualifying factor. But it shouldn't be a policy debate at that stage.
Because ultimately it's the president's decisions that are going to drive what that secretary does. We don't have independent actors as secretaries of departments. So it all boils back to the president. If the president's prepared to have the buck stop at his desk, I think he goes forward with Hagel.
And before I let you guys go, Senator Barney Frank. This is a long way from the early days when I was covering Barney up on the Hill and Newt Gingrich was taking shots at him. But Barney Frank said today, put me in, coach. I'd like to be the senator for a couple of months and be there for those key debates on the debt ceiling, on entitlement cuts, assuming that John Kerry is confirmed and becomes Secretary of State. Jen, good idea?
Look, I think it could be great. He is somebody who is an expert on financial issues. Everybody knows that is what Congress is going to be focused on for the next couple of months, between possible Senator Frank and, of course, new Senator Elizabeth Warren. The Massachusetts delegation alone will be a force fighting on behalf of financial reform and preserving it, and on behalf of the American people.
I think it's the sound of a man who's missed the game before he's left it. And I think that for all the desire to get out of the House, leaving Washington that way, leaving the game is something hard to do. And yeah, put me in, coach, for another 2 or 3 months and let me help get the job done.
And then, of course, we all saw the coming together around Ed Markey as the prospective front-runner for the nomination, although there might be some competition for that. But the Democratic Campaign Committee and others have all endorsed Ed Markey as well.
I think Senator Brown, I have a few things to say about that. So.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Michael, for being here. Jen, it's great to see you again.